What's going on, folks? Welcome to TLP Sports Club. The show you're watching is the TLP Live show. I'm your host. I go by the name of Harry B, and a B means billion. Something interesting is about to happen in Cleveland. I want to talk about that and more if I have time. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into the show. Let me run my intro, and then we're going to go. Let's run the intro.
BWB bandwagon buffs.
That's right. It's your man's Harry Billion. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. Let's get right to work, guys. You know how we do around here, TLP Sports Club. We talk the business of the Louis boys, college football and all. Let's go. If you're just listening, you heard a little bit of silence. I had to take a drink. Hey, guys, I don't have a lot of time. So for those of you who are watching live and you want to contribute, on your screen is going to be the contributing link or how you do it. If you want to join the live show, guys, come right away. I don't have too much time. Join tfplive@gmail.com. Some of y'all have that email already. All you got to do is just send me an email. Be like, hey, yo, beam me up, Scotty. You feel what I'm saying? And for those of you who don't have that email and have not come on the show, but you desire to come on the show, you can just write that email down. Maybe you don't have time today, but next time when I say, hey, yo, come up, let's talk about this, then you can come up. But the email is jointlplive@gmail.com. It's very short. I'm live. I'm Harry B with TLP Sports Club. So join TLPlive@gmail.com. It's just that simple. We got work to do. So let's get busy. If you are watching post live, you're watching it after we've been live and we've had our live interaction, still join the conversation by going to the chat or going to the comments. I can never distinguish between chat and comments. Chat is when it's live. Comments is when it's no longer live and you are just watching it. So join the conversation, guys. Let us know what you think about today's show. All right, and for those of you who are very generous, my Cash App is right there at the bottom of your screen. For those who are just listening, I'm going to say it, so you don't necessarily have to be watching in order for you to contribute to the show and the growth of this channel. The Cash App is $TLP Sports Club, $. So $. All right, you know the little S with the thing through it. You hit that little symbol, and then you type in TLP Sports Club. That's Tango Larry Peter Sports with an S, and then club, like you're joining a club, or you know, some of y'all saints who go to the club on Saturdays and then go to church on Sundays. Yeah, the club. You know what I'm talking about, okay? Stop playing with me. Thank you, everybody that supports the show and the channel, the growth of the channel, guys. We are well over 21,000 subscribers now. Welcome to all the new subscribers to the channel. Those who came through the shorts, the Shedeur shorts are doing very well, 200,000 views and whatnot. It's a lot going on. The page is very vibrant. If you don't see my face, it doesn't mean that the channel is dormant or anything. The channel is vibrant. If you read on the TLP post, I'm constantly posting. All right. Anything that has to do with sports is on that post. So you can read, you can interact there. When I don't have time to either drop a video, drop a short, or come here on live, guys, always read the post because I'm posting live things all the time. All right. So TLP is your destination for all things sports, college football, the Louis boys. This is where you come to get that information. Let's get busy. Let me take this thing off the screen because I always make the mistake. I leave it on the screen. And then, you know what I'm saying? Let's share the screen and we can get right to work, guys. This is how we're going to do it. All right. So I have a thesis. This is what's going to go down real soon. All right. This is what's going down real soon. There's there's a thread that's going on, and I'm here to read between the lines with you and have a discussion. Okay, so Mary Kay, if you do not know who Mary Kay is by now, you should know if you are interested in Shedeur type of content. She is the leading voice on the beat writers for the beat writers of the Cleveland Browns. Okay, so she's like the inside track for the Cleveland Browns. Anything like that has to do with the press. You know what I'm saying? She's the beat writer. I don't believe she works directly for them, but you know, you got companies that the team may trust with information. She is one of those people. So she's been dropping these nuggets, and I hope, and I post every time she drops some type of nugget, I post these nuggets. And I hope that you guys have been reading on the TLP Sports Club page all of the nuggets that I'm dropping. Now, she's dropped certain types of nuggets, and I want to make sure that I just want to kind of clarify how some of these nuggets that she's been dropping connect. All right, there are a few connections that I want to go ahead and make so that you will understand why I'm having this show today. This ain't no clickbait show. I ain't saying Shedeur's getting traded. Obviously, the trade deadline is over for this year. But once I go through the thread that I'm about to go through, you will definitely understand why I definitely want to come on here live so that we can talk about this. And like I said, I don't have too much time. I want to try to get up out of here by 11:30. All right, this is supposed to be like my lunch time. I'm supposed to come on here, you know, come home, have my lunch, you know, talk to the family. The wife works at home, so you know what I'm saying, say hi to her, give her a kiss on the cheek, and then go back to work. But you know, while I do all of that on my lunch breaks, I gotta come on here and talk to y'all when I can. Hi. I just want to let y'all know Dallas is in the building. Tim Smith, what up with you? Janet Smith, how you doing? KMS says, bring me up, Harry. Yo, you know the email. You know the process. This will be your first time. I don't know if KMS has ever come on the show. He's always in the chat. He put a smiley emoji, so I don't think he wants to come up. Probably trolling me. Okay, this is Elon Musk, children's name here, A04Q. Why you believing that BS? What BS? What BS are we talking about? I ain't even said nothing yet. Y'all already getting ready to start. What BS are you talking about? I ain't said nothing yet, bro. Calm down. What are you talking about? I haven't even given you the information yet. Good Lord. Some people be ready to debunk everything. I ain't even said hello yet. Gee Louise, calm down, my guy. AOQ A04, whatever. Q. Whatever, Q. All right. So here we go. Let's get this. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. Oh, yeah, DC, and shout out to DC, Carson Music. My guy feels so real. This kind of birthed out of a conversation we were just having. All right, so Mary Kay Cabot believes the Browns have no plans to fire Kevin Stefanski. All right, because a lot of us are believing that Harry B ain't even said. I know, DC. I don't know. I ain't said a word. Yo, those machetes be coming out quick. I gotta cut my hair, man. Golly, I need some more time in the day. I need 25 hours. And then after I get 25, I'll ask for 26 because that's how human beings are. We want more and more and more. Give me more. Anyway, Mary Cabot says that the Browns have no plans to fire, Kevin Stefanski. No plans, because I think a lot of us, I don't want us to fall into the delusional category, because you hear the radio personalities, because the Ultimate Cleveland Show, G. Bush, and all of the people that follow the Cleveland Browns, because you hear them and their displeasure, and all of the fans, because they have displeasure and they voice it every now and then, trying to clown DG, who I hate. I mean, I don't know him personally. My hate is not him hating him as a person. I just hate him because he is against Shedeur. So I am I think I'm a now certified Dylan Gabriel hater. I want to make that very clear. Nobody should ever try to mix that up and have any kind of doubt that I don't like DG, and I'm not going to post anything positive about DG unless it's comparing him to somebody else. All right, he's rookie of the year, he's rookie of the week. Who cares? Okay, I'm a DG hater. That is my position from going forward, and it's only a casualty of data. Okay, the hate is a casualty of data. That is it. I'm a Christian man. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I'm not a loose Christian like a lot of people, even though sometimes I drink Henny and Coke. I guess you can judge me because I need accountability. I shouldn't really be drinking to get drunk. It takes the edge off every now and then. But I'm a real type of Christian. That kind of Christian that, nah, bro, we're not going to do that. That type of Christian. Nah, homie. You're not laughing around me about that girl with the big butt. Nah, we're not doing that. Am I going to look and give a peek? Maybe. But you are not going to be giving high fives. We ain't doing none of that. Okay? I'm just peeking because I'm a casualty of war. And we're fighting a battle out here with demons. We don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against principalities in the dark, evil world that we live in. Okay? And yoga pants having to be one of those battles that we have to constantly fight. So yes, I do look every now and then, but I look away. Okay? When I become president one day of the United States, even though it will never happen, I'm going to ban all yoga pants. That's it. Okay? Black women and Latinos are not allowed to wear them. Maybe white women, the skinny ones, they can wear them. Follow me. Thick women are not allowed to, and you cannot wear the cheap dollar store ones. And you know which one I'm talking about. The one that have that line that goes straight down your leg. It looks like a shiny line. That is the cheap dollar store ones. It's a see-through. I can see all your, you know what? Let's get back to the show. But I'm a Christian man, so I don't really hate DG, right? I don't hate him as a person. Like, from the heart, I wanted him to win nothing, right? That's the hate part. But as a human being, I want him to have a life, a good life, outside of competing with Shedeur. All right? So that's my hate. Okay, so we're going back to Mary Kay now. I think he is 100% totally safe. All right? So you were not hating on DG and all of that, and Kevin Stefanski every single week having something to say. DC said, you can't do the cheek check. Oh, Lord. Oh, man, I don't want to go into that, okay? I'm a flawed man, but I'm one of those real Christians that's still hanging on for dear life, okay? So I do have some conviction, even though it's weighing a little bit. I'm just trying to keep it real with you, that I'm about that life. I ain't one of your loose Christians out here. Y'all just do anything. I can count my sins. Henny, yoga pants. Oh, Lord, help me, Jesus. Help me live this life, Lord. Help me live this life. All right. So we're breaking this all the way down, okay? If you're on the page, or if you've been on the page, Mary Kay post this. If she knows that Kevin Stefanski is staying, we got to break this all the way down because you have to understand what this means. Kevin Stefanski is a very unprofessional coach, all right? Very unprofessional. I have no idea how he's a head coach, because he's very unprofessional. The reason why I'm saying that is because when it comes to how he's handling Shedeur, he's been very unprofessional about it. It's like somebody who's insecure in themselves. They don't understand the type of man that God has made them, right? So because they don't understand who they are totally, they use their inner whatever it is, and with whatever power they have, to bring down or hold back other men. And that's an insecure man, right? Shedeur Sanders has fans, has a fan base, okay? The fan base is very aggressive. The fan base is made up of different types of people. Some understand football. Some understand football just a little bit, all right? Some don't understand no football, don't care. And they're here for Shedeur. And they're very loud. All of us are loud. But just like regular football fans, we have the right as Shedeur fans to voice our opinions. And we're going to talk just like any other fan base. And because you don't like Shedeur doesn't mean that our voices should not be heard. So that's on you if you feel some kind of way. Go do what you do. Just leave us alone. We're going to talk for our guy. But Kevin Stefanski, when he's in his press conferences and they ask a question about Shedeur, he refuses to mention the name or even repeat the name Shedeur, right? He doesn't say Shedeur's name. Shedeur is a casualty, and Shedeur is living in Kevin Stefanski's head rent-free. He's a casualty of the fans in Stefanski's head. Dylan Gabriel is also the same way, right? Because I don't know if you guys saw the clip that was a viral clip online where Dylan Gabriel is coming off of a 3 and out. Shedeur reaches out to him to give him a high five or to shake his hands like, hey man, keep your head up, or whatever that transaction was supposed to be. Dylan Gabriel shades him and kind of like, I don't know if he knocked his hand off and like, man, leave me alone. These two men, Shedeur is living in their head rent-free because of the fans. Because the reports that we get from the organization, from other players, Shedeur is a nice young man. He's very articulate. He's very friendly. And he don't cause no trouble. He's excited to play football, which is his dream. Football is something that takes a lot of ghetto kids, a lot of good players that have issues, and some may not have issues, but it's a financial juggernaut that helps young men who may need some financial help and put them in a better position. Shedeur is not one of those men. Shedeur is actually he was born into money, so he has money. He does not need the money from football, right? So his move, the way he moves and the way he talks, because he's already there and well off, he does not need Stefanski. He don't need to bow down and kiss the ring. Coach, please play me. I need this. He don't got to do that. So he moves a little differently. Stefanski, because he's a coward, all right? Because he's unprofessional, because he's small in his head, because he thinks his nuts is not big enough for his wife, because that one was a bonus. The kids should be at school. This is a very clean show here at TLP Sports Club, but, because Stefanski is, he's insecure about himself. That's what I should have said. That one's kind of slipped out. I'm sorry. But because he's that kind of man, he shades Shedeur. What head coach has players that he talks about growing the team? Please hear me out. Growing the team, getting better on the offense, and your number 2 is also on that offense, but you're doing this mental gymnastics or this mentally ill crap that you're doing in your brain, and you only talk about one player. However, you talk about getting the offense better. So if you are a head coach, please follow me, guys, because like I said, this is important for you to understand why I think Shedeur is on that trading block. Watch this. So if you are for the team, you're Stefanski, and you keep saying we're trying to build the offense. You don't want to mention Shedeur, Every time they say his name, you cringe a little bit inside. A little bit of you die inside because of his fan base, right? What we say and how we approach and what we do online, it has nothing to do with Shedeur. However, you have taken on the hate that we throw towards you, and you have associated that hate to be Shedeur, and he has nothing to do with us. We're not on his payroll, but the only payroll that we're on from Shedeur is not a direct payment. It's the views that we get by keep talking about him and providing information, data. That's the payroll that we're on, but we're not on his personal payroll, so you don't have to associate anything that we do out here to Shedeur. So you have no business actually, hating on Shedeur or taking that energy and associating that energy to Shedeur. It doesn't make sense. It means that you're a small person because you're not supposed to take what's going on outside of your locker room. You ain't supposed to take it and associate that to individuals that are the fans of the people that are right there on your team. So when you say that you're trying to get your team better, why is Shedeur not part of that plan? Give me a second, DC. I got you. I see you in that green room. Why is Shedeur not part of that plan? That's why I say your nuts is small and you don't think it's big enough. I said it again. Dang, my bad. That's why I say you are a small man inside in your head. Because in the case that Dillon Gabriel goes down, he gets hurt, whatever happens, Shedeur is your next guy up. He's on your team. To make your offense better, you can't just make one person better. You gotta be a professional enough to bring everybody up together. So Shedeur is in that plan of making your offense better. I don't know why this is a difficult thing for a small man like this, small nuts man like this, right? To he's in a professional environment. Why is this so hard for him to understand that Shedeur is part of his offense? So when you say we got to make our offense better, Shedeur is a part of that offense, bruh. So you should be building him up just like you're building DG up. But you don't do that, bruh. You shade him. And by the time, let's say week 11, 12, whatever, we're coming to the part where you already eliminated from playoff contention, where nothing matters anymore. And then we go right back to that preseason type of feeling where the starters don't have nothing to play for no more. They're making too much money to put their bodies in harm. And now you got to play the potentials, the second and third stringers. And Shedeur will have to be right there. And now you're ready to play Shedeur because now you don't have no more need for Dillon Gabriel. And you're going to push Shedeur into that situation. And then you're going to say, if he doesn't do well, see what we were telling you. And it doesn't matter what arguments we make. We're going to be out here screaming about the fact that he had no chance. Second stringers, third stringers. We're going to be screaming that. But it's going to fall on deaf ears. Why? Because all you got to look at is the results. I don't know if it was the Rams game. I can never remember that game that Shedeur, the last game that Shedeur played, and he did terrible. We forgot about the first game that he dominated, and we got to watch. So most people don't remember the good stuff. They only remember the bad stuff. So if your plan is to push Shedeur in when all of your stars can no longer benefit from playing, and now you're just going to put in the second stringers and the practice squad guys, you're going to push Shedeur into that situation just to prove to us that he wasn't ready all along. So I say all of that to say, if this guy that you're staring at on your screen is 100% to remain in his position as the coach, right? That's the first thing. And then Watson is going to be released in a couple of weeks to practice. That story is also on the page. I'm gonna reserve that so you can go read that. Watson, according to Mary Kay, is also going to be practicing real soon. Let me see. Do I have that story up here? Okay, you know what? There it is. It's the very next one down. Mary Kay Cabot. She said, expect the Browns to open Deshaun Watson's practice window possibly within the next 2 weeks. You see that? I'm telling you, this is a thread. I want you to follow the thread. We're following the thread right now. Okay? This is the same Mary Kay. They're going to open up Deshaun Watson's practice within a couple of weeks. Okay. Follow the thread that I'm laying out now. This year's trading window is already closed. Okay? Deshaun Watson is coming back. I'm about to give you the final nail. Deshaun Watson is about to come back on the team. Kevin Stefanski does not like Shedeur because of his small nuts. Not Shedeur's small nuts, because Kevin Stefanski has small nuts. Harry, why are you going this? Why are you doing this? I think I'm stuck. I don't know what else to do. What else to say? Okay, right? So Deshaun Watson is about to come back. Dylan Gabriel, right? Dylan Gabriel is Stefanski's guy, right? He doesn't like Shedeur. I mean, we don't have to tell you no more evidence. The simple fact that he just wants mention Shedeur's name should tell you he doesn't like Shedeur. He won't even mention his name in press conferences. When the game is out of contention, when it's out of reach, when you're supposed to give the guys that have been working hard on your team all year, give them a shot to just show what they got. When you decide to play Dylan Gabriel the entire game, no matter whether you got a chance to win or lose, those garbage times, at least give him 2 or 3 minutes like you did Dylan Gabriel. When Joe Flacco was here, you gave him at least 2 minutes and he scored a touchdown, his first touchdown. If you are unwilling to do that for Shedeur, that means you don't like this kid. And you don't want nothing good to come out of here for him to even have a chance to be called Rookie of the Week. Because if he scores 2 touchdowns, gets 500 yards, no interceptions, never gets sacked, and the fan base start to scream, Shedeur, it's gonna make you feel some kind of way, like with your small nuts is gonna get even smaller. Okay, now here's the final one. DC, I know. DC like, Harry, what are you doing? Here's the final one that DC I'm about to bring you on. Let's take this off the screen. Here's the final one. He's like, Harry B, stop the smart nuts joke. It's landing. It's not landing. Here's the final one, guys. And then I got to bring my guy DC on. Here it is. Bada boom. Okay. Mary Kay, the same girl. All right. I can say with certainty, when white people say that, that means just take it to the bank. Okay. Mary Kay is white, by the way, in case y'all didn't know. I don't think she's Spanish. With a name like Mary Kay, unless you really wanted to be a J-Lo, you're not going to name your Spanish kid Mary Kay. And if you are any of your Spanish people out there named Mary Kay, leave me alone. I can say with certainty they are going to take a quarterback in the first round. We all know that Cleveland Browns, they have a couple of first round draft picks via trades and different business deals that they made. I'm now going to bring my guy DC on. DC Carson Music. What up with you, my guy?
What's
I'm
going
tripping
on?
today. I know you ain't got to tell me. What up with you?
Hey, you just getting off how you feel. Go for it.
I'm getting off how I feel. No pause on that. No Vaseline, no pause.
None.
All right. So that's the layout. Let me just remind people what the layout is. Kevin Stefanski ain't going nowhere. Deshaun Watson is about to come back. Okay? And they have multiple first-round draft picks. And they are certainly, according to Mary Kay, going to pick a quarterback in the first round. DC, your thoughts, please.
Well, I mean, I've been saying that from the last draft. in the whole conversation, it may have sounded like I'm a Shedeur hater or whatever. But the point is that the Browns never saw DG nor Shedeur as their franchise end all be all QB. And you could tell that by how they what they did when they got Flacco and they got Pickett. And you can also tell that how they traded out of the first round. Because they could have had Travis. They could have had Cam Ward. They could have had Dart. But that was my key of they're not looking for a QB. And I know it's frustrating to the Shador fans, but they were not looking for a franchise QB. And the thing is, they can't afford to because Watson had guaranteed money. Bro's gonna get 43, 46 million next year. Gonna get it the year after that. You don't have room. I mean, it is what it is. Your thoughts?
Well, Lorraine says, let's deal with Lorraine real quick because I think she's one of those people who are just in denial. Lorraine Leo said, nobody believes that bird brain. Well, okay, so there's a time where you got to like leave the delusion alone and start realizing what's going on, because if you realize what Mary Kay came into the game with the day one, she said Dylan Gabriel is a supercomputer and Shedeur Sanders ain't ready. Isn't that what we've been looking at? And then she said that it was going to be Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur. So,
she was right.
Yeah, she was right. She's been right. Everything she's been saying has literally been happening. Okay, so we ain't got nowhere to go. We're cornered here, Lorraine. Come on.
Harry B, but check this out.
What do you want from me here?
Here's something I had to learn my time, strategic planning, all this, and looking at how people do information, how they use it for good, bad. Here's the thing. You don't have to like the puppet, but understand somebody's controlling the puppet. You don't like the puppet voice, like let's pretend that I got a puppet. Like, hey, what's going on, Harry B? And I got a puppet named Dumbo. What's up, Harry B? You ain't gotta like that voice, but you have to always pay attention to the voice of the puppet because out there telling you what's going on. So we ain't gotta like her. You can sit back and say, "Oh, she calls Dylan a supercomputer, and she called Shedeur X, Y, and Z." But somebody told her that. Who was it? I don't know.
Right. Because they have their person. That person you would never know. That person could be the owner's wife. It could be anybody. You don't know that person. That person would never be. They would never expose that person, unless somebody retires and then they write a memoir or a tell-all book. And even at that point, like if they're mentioning it, you're gonna have to do a little bit of digging to find out who that person is. Like you're gonna have to do YouTube investigation videos to try to figure out and put the dots together. But they would never name drop that person. Never. That's just not how the press works. If you ever want to work in this business again, you really want to name drop your source. All right. If you name drop your source, you're not going to be in this business for long. That's just how it works. I'm just telling you from the business perspective, not a Cleveland thing. But okay, let's go back to this whole situation. Now, you shared something with me behind the scenes when we was texting back and forth. You said, well, that we gotta pay attention to what's going to happen to each quarterback. If Watson is getting a whole lot of money, right, and he's coming back, DG is their favorite, then what happens to Shedeur is what you said. So this is what inspired the live to let you know that if Watson cannot be let go because of money, and he's coming back, he's gonna possibly play one of these weeks. Shedeur, Kevin Stefanski, who's the head coach, doesn't like him. DG is their favorite. So if they're going to draft another person, that means that Watson is healthy. He becomes the veteran. They bring in another rookie. He becomes their favorite, especially if it's Todd Simpson, right? DG has proven that he can play, but he can manage a game, so that's a second stringer. That means Shedeur gets traded. DC.
Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what I think is what happens. I mean, I get that, there's that love, and the truth be told, you heard me say that I want him out of there. I mean, I've never mixed words with that one. But what do you do? Because again, I think you wind up having a situation where like the Giants just had, where they drafted Dart, but they already had Russ in there. When then Russ wasn't playing well, they put Dart in. Dart was doing good, but he was doing the thing that people have been screaming at him, is that you gotta learn to slide. He ain't learned to slide. Now why is he out here? Concussion protocol. So now you have Winston, which is crazy to me because Winston was at the Browns last year. Here's my point: is that I think that's what you're going to have them, where they recruit a new QB. They put Watson will be there. Watson may wind up starting off the year as a starter. Because unless you put him in the game, see, this is tricky. If you put him in this year and he does well, you might be able to get some trade bait. You won't get all your money back because nobody's going to want to give him 46 million, 43, 46 million a year. But you might be able to get some back. But I think more than likely, what winds up happening is that Watson comes back and he is playing next year, unless he gets traded. Whoever they draft will be the second one. He will be QB2. And I don't know what happens. I don't know if Shedeur stays on that team.
Uh, at this point, I don't know that it makes a lot of sense to keep Shedeur, because I think I just got another. I don't
It
know if
doesn't.
I don't know if I posted it, but at this point, the Browns are making history. I read something. I meant to post it, but I probably didn't post it. I don't know if I did or not. Somebody can tell me if I did. But they were saying that the Browns are making history by having only two rookies as a veteran active on their active. I mean, other than a veteran on their active roster. For the most part, you will have at least one veteran and some rookies, but they only got rookies. All
Yeah,
right.
but see, here be the thing about that is, I know that we have our conversations behind the scenes, but the thing is, if you give them equal reps, rookies. Now, if you got a veteran and you got a rookie, that's a different ball game. But if you give both rookies equal reps, nobody will be prepared and it will look worse than what it looks like. I mean, that is just what it is. So you have to make a decision. Who do I invest in? I don't think that the Browns have a love affair like we're saying for DG. I just think that it's not a love, it's more so of a preference of one over the other. And I also got to say this.
But that's what a
I
love affair is, my guy.
No, it's not. It's not. I can
If you
prefer
have a preference, that's not a love. If you have a preference over one person, that's not a love affair.
a preference isn't love. I've got a preference of fried chicken over baked chicken, but that don't mean that I love fried chicken. Do you see
Well,
what I'm
I mean,
saying?
in the barbershop talk, yeah. I mean, we don't know how to separate. Yeah, that's way too technical for street language, for
But it
street
is
talk.
what it is.
Street talk, we don't try to be technical on street talk. People just want to laugh and move on. You don't have time to debate street talk. You just say, oh, he love him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just it. It's loose talk. It's loose conversation. You just say what you say to get the most and the highest impact, and then you move on.
Yeah, but when you draft somebody the third round, that does not say I love this guy. That says, hey, let's pick a QB, and then somehow, somewhere, where you wind up getting a fifth. I
No,
mean,
no, no, no. You're litigating it wrong. It's not. We remember now. We're off draft language. We're talking about where you won't even mention Shedeur's name in press conferences. Where if this says Shedeur, you said DG.
I'm gonna address that. I'm
You know
gonna
what I'm saying?
address
Like
that.
if they say Shedeur, you said DG.
But watch
Like
this.
the unprofessionalism is oozing through their blood because we don't see any other coach. You know what I'm saying? Most coaches will be like, "Yeah, Shedeur, man, we're working on Shedeur. Shedeur's going to get a shot when it comes up. Right now, we just want DG to get his experience, and Shedeur's time is coming. So it ain't like you're not going to ever mention his name. I don't get it. It don't make sense because that sounds like somebody who's insecure. But go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna present another perspective. All right.
Fine.
Almost one of the things with Tebow, why he could not stay in the league, because Tebow is bigger than life, just like Shaduri is. but that's to a point where most coaches and organizations don't want to have to continue to sit up there during the press conference and have to answer questions about the second string. That is not the way it works. I know Shedeur is a casualty of this war, but at the end of the day, is no head coach wants to sit there and have the conversation continually about the second string. Now you can sit even when the team is sucking, they don't want to do that. That's the thing that everybody put it like this. They say even in college football, say one of the worst things for a coach as far as hiring and firing is who the second string is.
No, that's fine. I understand that argument, but this is not that argument, right? I know we don't want to answer questions every day about the elephant in the room and the most popular player, but you have not once mentioned his name. That's just a common respect. It ain't got nothing to do with draft positions. It ain't got nothing to do with, oh, he's a second string, so he's not my priority. It's just the decency of just saying the dude's name. We ain't talking about nothing crazy. It's just in conversation. You be like, Shedeur, if Shedeur is your second stringer, because remember when DG was your second stringer, you mentioned his name. So treat it the same way. Don't treat it differently. When he was your second stringer, you mentioned his name. Shedeur is now your second stringer, so draft orders don't even matter no more. We ain't talking about who was drafted when. We're talking about the actual game. We're talking about the fact that he is actually second string. He's the vice president, because if something was to happen to the president, he would be next up. That's what I mean. So at this point now, it's just football and professionalism. Let's bring on Phil, and then if you have a thought, you'll add it. Phil, so real, what up with you, man? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
And behind the scenes, you over there doing the Lord's work. I just want to congratulate you, Mister. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about.
I appreciate that, man. I did not feel like doing it, but it was the right thing. So, I had the Lord called and I had to answer. He didn't call me collect. He hit me straight up on the private line. But I think both of y'all are making really good points. I feel like it's the Browns. They're gonna muck it up some kind of way. Shedeur will have his chance this year to put some tape out there. I think the Browns are in a unique situation when you have Deshaun Watson coming back. Like DC said, that's a lot of money, guaranteed money that's on the books that teams are going to be leery of paying and going after. And then especially with the off the field things that he had going on, that's also hard to overcome for him. So I don't know if Watson has a future outside of playing with the Browns in the NFL. Dylan Gabriel, as of right now, I mean, he had been lighting it up, but he also hasn't been stinking it up either, because if he was, I think we would have seen Shedeur a little bit quicker.
The dude is rookie of the week. What can we say?
He was nominated for it. And I'll say this last point real quick. If I'm the Browns, I honestly don't know if I'm taking a quarterback in the first round next year's draft. I look at somebody like Bill Parcells. He had certain requirements when it came to drafting a quarterback. He said he wanted a 3-year starter, he wanted a graduating senior, and he wanted 23 games won out of 30. And I don't think there's anybody out there right now that's coming out in the draft that meets that. And if I'm the Browns, I might use those picks to either trade and try to get a veteran player piece on the offensive line, defense, wherever.
Pieces, I hope you're saying peace. That's singular.
Yes.
Lord, they need a lot of pieces. They need receivers.
Put it like this: if I'm the Browns, I'm looking for an immediate starter, whether it's at quarterback or whatever position I draft. And right now, I just don't see an immediate starter at quarterback coming out in the draft this year.
DC, go ahead, brother.
All right, so I think the thing that I get the understanding of feeling like it's he's not being professional, Shedeur. I'm just gonna say historically,
and the small nuts.
I hey, I ain't going there. You go right ahead and just do that one. You know, you go ahead and get the baby Joshua out. But the point I'm going to say is that it is not common, especially this time in the season, to begin to talk about your second string QB. And especially, and I would say we've never really seen this, but especially if your second string QB is a rookie as well. This is an unusual
Bro,
circumstance.
but then why did he talk about DG when he was second string?
I can't sit here and answer that because at the end of
But
the
I
day,
mean,
that's
you know what I'm feeling? I feel like you keep giving this guy a pass. Like he talked about DG when he was second string. He mentioned DG's name when he was second string.
when was
But
it? When was
you
that?
keep moving the goalposts whenever
When
we
was
say
that?
anything that should be fair, at least basic common stuff. You keep kind of giving him like, well, it's not common. It's not common. Like he's
It's
a
not
first rounder.
common.
Like,
It's not common.
but
I'm
then
just
don't
telling
do
you
it for
what it is.
DG.
That's his choice. I'm just telling you what normally happens. I'm not telling you my preference. You can pick a part of why you think it is. I'm just telling you normally, like I did hear him mention DG at the beginning of the year. He would answer some of them questions about Shedeur, but generally this point in the season, because the truth is, am I gonna sit here and say that DG looks great? No, I'm not gonna sit here and say he looks great. He don't look bad like some folks feel, Harry B, but he does look like he is a functional enough. The point being is that generally this is how it goes. Why Stefanski is not saying it if he hates him? I can't say that. I can't say he loves him either.
It's unusual. I think if you're the head coach, you have to be prepared to answer questions about any player on your team. It is unusual to have your ex third string quarterback, now your second string quarterback, to be such a hot button topic. And I think this is the reason why. Not I think, but this is an example of why teams didn't want to have Tim Tebow as your backup quarterback or Colin Kaepernick as your backup quarterback because they're going to suck a lot of the air out of the room, and reporters are going to want to ask because fans are going to want to know, and they know that's going to move the meter. So if I'm Stefanski, you got to figure out how to get an answer out there to those questions about Shedeur. And when you get asked about him, you can't stumble over yourself and sound like a teenage boy trying to ask the prom queen out or something like that. Like he looks foolish. He doesn't look like a professional when it comes to answering
That's
questions
why I
around
said smart
Shedeur.
nuts.
And we got to
Because he
fix it.
sounds like a smart, like a teenage boy.
But let me address this thing. When I say that Dylan doesn't look bad, folks, rookie QBs in the NFL are not, they're going to throw stupid throws, they're going to throw interceptions. The reason why I can say that is because out of a lot of your rookie QBs, he hasn't turned the ball over a lot as much as the others. He hadn't thrown a bunch of picks.
That's because the
Um,
other team's just not. They're not catching it. It's
but
in their
again,
hands. He's throwing it right in their hands, and for some reason, the NFL told him not to catch it. Because I'm like, how in
okay,
the world did you
hold on,
not catch
time
that
out.
interception? Was it against? I
Hold
forgot who it
on,
was against, but it was like
hold
five
on.
interceptions. None of them caught it. It was like, Dylan Gabriel's throwing. I'm not going to catch that one.
Hold on, but see, here's the thing: like people are saying rookie of the week, but nobody really has gone back and say why would he be nominated for the rookie of the week? Well, again, I'm not a DG fan. I look at football for what it is, not what I would like for it to be. Unless it's with Bama, sometimes I do have a little bias, but mostly I try to keep it neutral. So here's the thing: when you look at Week 10 and you go back and see the rankings of QBs, Dylan was number 12. That's be above Jalen Hurts. That's a lot. So you got to look at it. The only QB that was higher than him, which that's why I think that person will win, even though I don't think it was Tyler Shook for he's a rookie for the Saints. That's why they put him there. That's a thing that is based upon a week, not the entire season. So because I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would you be nominating him for that? But when I look at it, when you generate 220 yards of offense and you get two TDs and no turnovers, even with your veterans, that will be considered a good game. I
That is a
got the
valid
batted
point.
down passes. I got all of that. But we can't just look at it, okay, well, he just trash, which I understand. There are times when he's played like trash. It's called for what it
Oh, he
is.
sucks. Straight up.
But when you look at those numbers and look at what he did, yeah, taking those sacks of fourth down, stupid, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, those numbers, that's why it's justifiable. I'm just keeping it a buck.
I'm not sitting here trying to talk about his rookie of the week stuff. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the totality of his talent. Okay, when you look at him, we're not, the NFL is not a game of, or a sport of, can you just not look bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, the NFL is about winning football games, right? You want a quarterback that you know is going to lead you to win football games, not just keep the status quo. That's not what the NFL is about. So I think when most people are talking, they're talking about, can this guy move this ball down the field? Can they open up the playbook? It seems like they're slow cooking him or slow walking him because he ain't there yet. So the supercomputer right now is a DOS system. It's a DOS system that they're trying to, from 1997, and they're trying to reboot. You know what I'm saying? And like, the line is moving a little slower. Like, he can't be no supercomputer if you can't open up the playbook. Either he's a supercomputer and you can open up the playbook, or he's lacking something. He has to be lacking something if that playbook is staying closer. You can't go down past 30 yards. He got to be lacking something.
You gotta remember this though. He's a rookie. Not only he's a rookie, you're playing.
Bro, everybody's a rookie. Come on, man. Like, stop with that. Dude, which week are we in? What week are we in? He's a rookie. He's a rookie. Yes, we know he's a rookie, but everybody's a rookie. Tyler Shough is a rookie and he won. Like, come on, bro. Like, Tyler Shough is a freaking rookie too, and he was looking like a veteran out there.
What is your realistic expectation for a third-round quarterback that has made 5 starts in the NFL?
I don't look at rounds. I don't. Okay, so look.
And hold on. And has had 2 different offensive coordinators in those 5 games. What's the realistic expectation?
Y'all know me. Y'all know me fairly well by now. Y'all look at stats. I don't look at stats.
I didn't say anything about stats. I said, what is your expectation?
The stats is the third round. That's the stat. That's the statistics. It's the third round. That's the stat. I don't look at those things.
So you think that a third rounder is a better player than the first rounder?
I look at ability. If he was good, he would be good. See, I don't associate, because I'm not looking at Shedeur, and I'm not going to grade Shedeur based on the 5th round. You see what I'm saying? When Shedeur goes out there, I guarantee you, even y'all who are saying, oh, look at this third round, he shouldn't be doing X, Y, Z, y'all would not be grading him based on the 5th round. Y'all would be grading him based on what he's doing on that field. It has nothing to do with 5th round, because nobody's giving him any grace. Dillon Gabriel is getting all the grace in the world because he's white adjacent. And white people they get 1,000% grace. Black people don't get no grace. You either good now or you don't. If I go to Harlem, if I go to what's the name?
Rucker Park.
Rucker Park, right? When we go to Rucker Park and we play, when you're watching the games, nobody's over here thinking, oh, he's from that neighborhood that don't have too many basketball players. They're talking about you on this court and you playing. I want to see your ability. The way that black people evaluate talent. If you tell me that somebody's a supercomputer, I want to make sure that his RAM is very high. I want to make sure that his processor is very high. I want to make sure we put the best against the best. So why is it that this supercomputer is being protected?
Well, I can say this. I never agreed that he was a supercomputer. Now, if we want to specifically go based off of what Mary Kay said, then so be it. Obviously, like DC was saying earlier before I jumped on, like she had to have gotten it from somewhere. These beat writers are plugged in. They're insiders for a reason. They're getting information that we don't have privy to. They're never going to give up their sources, but she obviously heard it from somewhere. With that being said, for me, specifically when it comes to the NFL, I'm going to judge you based off of where you were drafted. And if you come in the first round, that means I have a higher expectation of you than somebody who was drafted in 3rd, 4th, or 5th round, right? And so you can either live up to that expectation or you cannot live up to the expectation. You can far exceed the expectation. I didn't have a lot of expectations for Dillon Gabriel coming into this year. I do think that Shedeur Sanders is a better quarterback and is more skilled and is more talented. But as of right now, I can't say that Dillon has done enough to lose the job.
He hasn't.
I don't think he's done enough to lose the job. No, if you look
Okay,
at
because
at what the Browns were
is
doing
that
before he
based on
got
the
in,
standard for the Browns?
how much? But my point, how much have the Browns changed since Dylan Gabriel has been the starter? You've
That's why I
seen
was
pretty
just.
much
That's
them
why
be
I'm
the
asking
same.
you that. Then that's why it's based on the standard for the Browns, not on the standard for the NFL. Because if we're talking about the NFL standard, and you saying that Dylan Gabriel has not done enough to lose his job, then tell me what team other than the Browns that he ain't done enough to at least for us to look at the other guy. On any other team, you're telling me that Dylan Gabriel has not done enough for us to look at the other guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's played trash enough to be like we got to get him out of there. The Browns as a whole are a bad team.
Then
So
that's the Browns. That's not an NFL standard you're talking about.
But Harry, everybody's not. We've already had this conversation offline. Everybody doesn't have the same standard. Yes, the NFL, the goal is to win.
But then make it Brown specific. Make it Brown specific.
The Brown, like DC said earlier, the Browns were very clear in what their plan was based off of how they drafted this year. You had Flacco in there. Oh God, who was the other guy they had? That was a veteran guy. They had Pickett there. Then they drafted Gabriel in the 3rd round. They drafted Shedeur in the 5th round. To me, that does not look like a team that expects to win now. So I don't expect to see them win now.
Okay, so then we should put stuff in perspective, right? Let's stack the perspectives, right? They don't want to win. They're trying to draft in the 1st round, right? So we have Dylan Gabriel because we're trying to see if he's going to be our first guy when we draft next year or he's going to be our second guy. Then doesn't it make sense that if you're trying to see where guys are going to be, that at this point, because Dylan Gabriel has not really moved the needle, they moved away from Flacco because Dylan Gabriel was performing like Flacco. So that means that if that's the way that we're trying to see, then somebody should say, let's look at the next guy because he hasn't done nothing other than keep the status quo. That will make the most sense.
Have I not already said Shedeur is going to play this year? Now, he may not play as quick as you want him to play, but
listen to how I laid it out. I said, based on what
Dylan
you just
Gabriel
said,
hasn't played better than what Flacco was doing, and they got rid of Flacco.
Keeping the status quo. So by now, we should have seen Shedeur.
Also, with that Flacco situation, they were able to get something out of that trade for him. So that I get your point, but at the very least, it wasn't like hey, we benched him, and now Dylan Gabriel is our starter, and Flacco is the backup. With that being said, I see a future where Shedeur starts. I don't think it's going to be this week or next week, but he's going to play. I can put it to like this: Shedeur is going to play start at least 3 games this year.
I want Dylan Gabriel to light it up so Shedeur don't have to see that field. Because
so what happens next year then?
But next year he's traded. That's what this show is about. This show is about
Shedeur being on the trading block there, though, right? He needs to put some film out there because they're going to. You can't go based off of what somebody's just doing in practice.
No, he
you
don't
can't go based off of what somebody's doing in practice.
He got to put some film out there. He'll tell you why.
He don't have to. Shedeur don't have to put no film out there.
Yes, he does.
I guarantee you there are coaches that understand his game. And they know that he can play, and he ain't got to be with the Browns. He ain't got to play not one down with the Browns. And the second you mention trade, the trade would have already happened. I guarantee it.
He would have been already traded, and he wouldn't have got drafted in the 5th round if other coaches and other teams saw what he could do.
Right. You can't.
We wouldn't be having this conversation.
You guys are interpreting this whole draft thing, and we're going to relitigate it. I don't want to go there, right? Because we understood that he turned down a few teams already. We understood that he turned down some teams. And his opportunity to start did not come into the 5th round. So let's not pretend like we don't know that there's other stories out there about this whole draft. So we don't have to go relitigate the whole thing. Forget about the draft. I'm saying I know that there are coaches out there that are hurting and need a really good quarterback, and they know that Shedeur's the guy. So the second that the Browns mention trade, Shedeur's gone. I promise you.
If they thought he was a really good quarterback,
you're going back to the if. You're going back to the if. I'm trying to tell you, let's move on from that. It's not about if, because we know that he turned down a few teams.
Trade for him.
But you're giving an if. You're basically saying that all these other coaches know that he's a good QB and they'll jump on him. I'm not going to sit here and dispute that because we have already litigated that. What I'm saying, that was one of the things I brought up as far as one of the elephants in the room, is that we say these things of why we have these theories of why Shedeur didn't get drafted. And again, I'm not trying to hit on the draft, but we don't know if those same mindsets or collusions or stuff has been lifted because we haven't
But we
seen.
have the other stories that have come out now that the Ravens, the Philadelphia, the Eagles wanted him. We have other stories so that we can
But
tell
not to
y'all
be
to
the
ease up.
starter.
We can tell y'all to ease up on the fifth round situation. That can actually put y'all at bay, because if he had said, okay, I don't mind, go ahead, draft me. I don't think that those were supposed to be like, oh, nobody wants him. He would have been in a better situation in the first place. So we don't have to sit here and keep talking about, oh, he's fifth round. I don't really have to go there no more.
He's gonna be a backup though. So you telling me
that's perfectly fine. That's way better to be in a backup on a different team that can say his name, that can develop him properly.
That's fair.
I give you that point. Harry, I will say this: when you talk about trading, that means you got to go along to get along, right? So that means that team has to give up something. Whatever it is that they're going to give up, whether it be another player or a draft pick, they have to determine, is what I'm giving up for Shedeur going to reap the benefit? And
he's a fifth rounder, unless they think his value is much higher. He's a fifth rounder, so you get anything you get for that. Come on, but we know that he's going to be asking for the house. We know they're going to be asking for the house because they know for a fact that he's not no daggone fifth rounder.
So I'll say this there. I think that it would have, it would have been more likely that those teams went after him whenever they did, that he turned down, because now I got you on whatever little pay grade, whatever round you were getting drafted. Now I have to give up something to get you, and you're just going to come here and be a backup. I don't know a lot of teams that are looking for somebody that's going to be a backup that they don't expect to actually start. And so you have to figure out, if they're looking for a backup that they're going to expect to start at some point, they're probably just as bad as the Browns, if not worse.
But you see, that's the thing that just gets me excited. These conversations, even if it's live or it's behind the scenes on text, man, I've been getting excited. You're still thinking that Shedeur is a freaking fifth rounder, man. Let me bring on JR Boxing, because I can't deal with y'all, man. I can't deal with y'all. JR Boxing, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling, man. I appreciate you. What's up with you, man?
Harry, calm down, man.
These fools are killing me, bro. I'm telling you, they've been killing me, man. It's like they don't know who Shedeur is, man. Stop playing with me, son.
Nah, man. What's good, Phil? What's good, DC? How y'all brothers doing, man?
Doing well.
Man, like how can you be like Alzheimer's is a real thing, man. You can't have Alzheimer's. We know who Shedeur is. Forget about what happened in the draft and just talk to me about the talent, man.
I mean, two things can be true, man. You can say, yeah, he's talented. He was evaluated to be a first-round pick. But, I mean, reality is he was drafted in the fifth round. So, whether you choose to believe in...
Gerald Boston, I'm cutting you off on purpose. I hate when people say, I'm sorry to cut you off. Yeah. I'm cutting you off on purpose to ask you this question. Do you believe that the Cleveland Browns are going to ask for the house when it's time to trade Shedeur?
Yeah. I believe they can ask for the house, but
they're going to because they know the value. They understand the value.
Yeah.
They're only treating him like a fifth rounder, not even calling his name, because they're doing whatever stupid stuff they're doing. But when it's time to trade him, I believe you and me, they're going to ask for multiple things.
Yeah, I mean, look, I believe that they will ask for, something that's higher than a fifth pick. But trades work two ways, right? So I can ask you for something, Harry, and you can be like, no, I can offer you this. And so that's when you come to terms. So, yeah, they can ask for whatever, but trades they work two ways. So we'll see what another team is willing to part ways with or give up upon the request of the Browns. But, yeah, they can ask for whatever. They can be like, yeah, we want a first-round pick. And another team could be like, yeah, no, we're not giving you that. But we can give you another fifth-round pick, or we can give you a fifth round and a sixth-round pick. So it may be something, something like that. But yeah, they can definitely ask for whatever they want to ask for
So
sure.
JR, let me
So,
ask you this question. Let's take that we trade him. So I know I've been watching some teams he could possibly go to, one of
Hmm.
them being Jacksonville. So if you were to look at
Woo! Say that
if
again,
you
DC.
yeah, if you were to
Say
look at it,
Jacksonville again. Let me think about Travis Hunter for a second. Go ahead, say
see,
that again.
right, because when I look
why
at this,
in
I
the
was
hell would the Jags go for Shedeur when they got Trevor Lawrence right
bro,
there? They got the golden boy. They got
You
bro,
just gonna lay it
sunshine from the
all out
beginning
there,
of the
right?
season.
Right, Phil?
Phil,
What are we
Phil,
talking about?
What?
you
Trevor
been
Lawrence
you
is not a Shedeur, my guy.
Oh
Phil.
Okay.
man.
All right, so here's the thing, because it will be
What is
putting
wrong
him.
with y'all? Come on, man. Y'all saw Shedeur
So,
play in
so,
college, right?
so
For real?
right. But I actually I just went in yesterday, Harry. I have because whenever I'm might text you or something, I done some research. I watched the went
I
back and
know.
watched the
Oh, I
Baylor.
know.
I went back and
That's
watched the
why.
Baylor
That's
versus
why I don't
Colorado
respond to
game
your text the
yesterday.
same way no more. I don't even talk to you the same way no more. I'm
Yeah,
never
because
gonna fall for your trap anymore.
you
But go
already
ahead.
know it's booby trap big time as soon as you walk through the door. But I watched the Baylor versus Colorado game yesterday just to get some things, and I always want to make sure I level set myself. So to watch what they do, and I mean Travis Hunter, that game was saved. That was a one man band. If you really go back and look at it, and with that being Sawyer Robinson's, a side note, second game starting. That dude was good. I'm not gonna lie, Baylor's got something right there. I think that dude's probably gonna be a second round pick. I'm just keeping it real. He made some throws like Shedeur can make. But JR, my question would be: let's take Jacksonville, or I don't think that Carolina is ready to move on from Bryce Young. But let's take those two teams. What would you say that the market value would be for Shedeur to either one of those teams? Like a draft pick, cash, or what? What do you think?
You know, that'd be a tough trade because you would have to make the money work for the other team. Like with Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence just signed a what $250 million contract. So you're looking at Shadeur's contract, which is 5 years, you know what, four something million, 4 point something million. Like the money just wouldn't work. So the Jags would be looking like, okay, you're offering what exactly? Like you would have to be offering a ton. You would have to essentially put Miles Garrett up there with Shedeur in order to make the money work for Trevor Lawrence. And I just
And
don't think Jacksonville will be willing to do that.
Not to trade
Or
Trevor Lawrence, I'm saying to add Shador.
oh, to add Shedeur to
Add Shador to that roster. Or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Carolina
yeah.
to add him.
For Shedeur to be
To
his
add him.
backup.
oh
Yeah.
for sure. Oh, okay. Yeah. Look, I don't think Jacksonville would give up much. It just because it just the way the NFL works, right? So the exception and the rule. With the rule is that you're probably going to get around what you traded for. And the exception is that if you get on the field and you outplay where you were drafted, so Shador obviously drafted in the fifth round, right? And if he gets on the field and let's say he puts up some good numbers, right? Some exceptional numbers for however many times he's on the field, then you can look at a team and be like, all right, yeah, we drafted this guy in the fifth round, but we want a second round pick for him because in the 3 games that he was on the field, he put up 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns with no interceptions, and his completion rate was 70-some%. Then you can kind of like bargain. But until then, it's probably going to be more so like, all right, you got him in the fifth round. Look, we'll give you maybe a fourth round at best. 32 teams, right? You
mm,
can count on your hand which quarterback has been replaced due to bad play. Now, you can list all the quarterbacks that have been replaced due to injuries. You can go down the list. Joe Burrow, Bryce Young got injured, Andy Dalton came in. All of these quarterbacks got injured, and the second string quarterback came in and played, and so on and so forth. But as far as like bad play, like when you just go down the list, quarterbacks is just playing bad. Only only a few come to mind.
Okay,
You
Joe
look at
Flacco.
Spencer.
We don't have to go
Spencer
far.
Rattler.
Just go right to Joe Flacco. Don't name no other team.
Geno Smith.
Joe Flacco. Forget about
Geno
Geno.
Smith still playing.
Don't go nowhere. I said stay right here. Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it right with the Browns. Joe Flacco.
Okay.
Pause, because hold on. I'm gonna give you before you go, Harry. Be careful how you go, because you probably about to cook yourself.
What
So
do you
just
mean?
be careful.
That was it. He said name the quarterback that was replaced because of bad play. And I just said, you don't have to go far. Just stay with Joe Flacco. That was my answer.
But that's what I mean, Harry. It's 32 teams, and if you can only name one or two, then it's not really a common occurrence. Now, if it's 32,
the reason why I'm naming Joe Flacco is because it directly has to do with Shedeur.
If it's 32 teams, and then you list off 8 teams, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, well, I can see there's a trend there. But if it's 32 teams and you're only focused on, well, it happened with this team. Yeah. And then you know what happened 2 weeks later? They traded that quarterback. So
hold on. What is the context that you're speaking in? Todd Smith, I'm coming to you. What is the context? The trading or
no, the content is it's not a regular occurrence of that happening. So if DG go out there and he just start throwing pick after pick, then I could be like, yeah, it's definitely time to like sit him down.
He didn't throw. No, hold on. Stay right there.
Hold on.
He didn't throw pick after pick.
Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel only thrown 2 picks this year. Joe Flacco went out there. Went out there. In the first 4 games, he had 2 touchdowns to like 6 interceptions. So yeah. So if Dylan, you have to look at Dylan Gabriel and you have to look like, okay, look, he's not accurate with the ball. He's not this with the ball. We can't throw the ball down the field. Yes, I agree. All of that. But he's not turning the ball over. Joe Flacco was literally turning the ball over.
Can I hop in real quick because I got to jump off? I just want to make this last point. I'm going to reiterate this. It is the Browns. Shedeur is going to have his chance. He's going to be able to put film out there and say either he is the guy that some thought he was or he's the guy that some thought he was. And it's up to him to prove whichever side right. At the end of the day, it's all on him. He's going to get his chance, and when he gets his chance, I hope he goes in there and be successful. Just like DC said, I don't want him at the Browns. I hate the Browns as a Steelers fan, so I want them to continue losing. But Shedeur's going to have his chance, and it's up to him to be successful. And I'll just leave it at that.
All right, Phil. Appreciate it. Hey,
Todd
Smith.
Y'all have a good one.
All right, man. Todd Smith, welcome to the show. What's up with you, brother? How you doing today? Thank you for calling.
Hey, I'm doing well. What up with it, Phil? What up, DC? What up, JR?
What up, bro?
Phil had to just jump off real quick. But yeah, man. Give your hot take, man. What's your hot take?
Man, I kind of see things. I kind of agree with you, Harry, on a lot of things. I agree with everybody's point of view, but Shedeur isn't I don't know. I go back to this mock draft. You know, everybody had him first round, maybe second round. But when it comes to Dylan Gabriel, everybody, all the pros had him listed as a serviceable quarterback. But he just so happened to get picked in the 3rd round by Kevin Stefanski, which is people can twist it, turn it any kind of way they want to, but at the end of the day, it was conversations made that'll never resurface itself to the light this season, I don't think. And maybe not ever until somebody possibly write a book, but I look at it as it was collusion there to get this quarterback drafted. Now that he's drafted and he stinks, the dinks and donks make him look good. That's it. Like, you can't win games like that. And
obvious.
It's not going to happen. So, I mean, people can say what they want to say. about, maybe in the top for rookie of the week or whatever. Man, that crap don't mean nothing. But he sucks. He's trash, bro. Like he's garbage.
Don't say that around DC, because he
really is.
Taylor Gabriel is about to be the rookie of the year.
Man, he's garbage, bro. Like, okay, let me ask the panel this question then. How is it fair to the rest of your team if we can't push the ball down the field and put us in position to win games? How is it fair to one of the best defensive players in the National Football League?
It's not fair.
How is
Let
that
DC
fair,
go
though?
first.
But see, the thing is, Tim, let's unpack this. All right, you lost your running back that went to the Texans. I forget his name. JR, you probably remember it.
Joe
But
Mixon.
right. So you lost
No,
the
Nick
running
Chubb.
back.
Nick Chubb.
Right. So you lost your running back, a seasoned running back. You're back there with a rookie running back who did not have a rookie camp, nor did he have a training camp. You also have Judy, which is one receiver, but the other one, Isaiah Bond, was not at your rookie camp, nor was he at your training camp. So the bottom line, you don't have a lot of weapons, and the average O line, I think that line is pretty age for an O line. They're in their 30s, and that's the worst line in the NFL. So, folks, we got to level set and go, okay, can I call a rookie trash that doesn't have any weapons in the worst NFL, worst line in the NFL? I can't.
Yes,
And I know
Hey,
some people.
hold on, pause right there, DC.
I can. He's trash.
I'm glad you said that, and you said you want to unpack this, right? So,
Right.
okay, how many first round picks do the Cleveland Browns have this season coming up for 2026?
2.
2026, but they got a plethora of picks in the NFL draft this season coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you said, how can we call him trash when he doesn't have certain receivers, right?
Right.
Okay,
And
but
he's a rookie.
Okay, but you also have to take into consideration the reasons why he was so far down on the list of quarterbacks being drafted in 2025. And those things are playing out now. The only thing that's saving him is the dinks and the dunks.
Can I ask you a question? Well, let me ask you a question real quick. So let's look at the QBs that were drafted. There was Cam Ward. There was Dart.
Here comes the
Tyler
trap.
Shook. There was after Tyler, there was we got Jalen Milroe. We got Dylan. We have and we'll stop at Shedeur, and I think there's another QB out there. So out of all those QBs,
oh gosh,
which one is doing the best?
Here comes the trap. It's a trap. Don't answer it.
Hold on. No. I got him on this.
No, you don't.
I'm
messing with you, bro. Go ahead.
Dart is doing the best right now. And up there in New York, right?
Honestly,
based on the numbers, yes, he is.
Harry B doesn't love me too well.
I have to go with Tyler Shook, man.
Okay.
I already know. I saw the trap coming as soon as you asked the question. I already knew. Let me bring. Hey, hold on line. Let me bring Judon on. Judon, what up with you? Thank you for calling in, guys. We only have a few more minutes, but I still gotta let you on because you called in. What up with you, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, do you want to answer the question, or you got a hot take?
I got a perspective that I've been trying to push that nobody's really paying attention to, but it's obvious to me.
Okay. Are you a first-time caller, or you been here before?
I'm a first-time caller, but
hey, welcome, man.
Thanks, bro.
I think I've seen you in the chat before, but this is the first time calling.
Yeah, you see me all the time. I'm always in there.
For sure. All right, go ahead, man, and welcome.
Thanks. Yeah.
Hey, excuse me. I'm sorry. We're not skipping the question. I just want to get him in there so he can do his hot take. But we'll answer the question on Ty.
Okay. Shedeur ain't never gonna play for the Browns.
Thank God.
They never wanted to draft him. Okay. Let's hear me out for a second. Jimmy Haslam, after they drafted Shedeur, he said in a live interview, if you would have asked me last night, if you would have told me last night that we were going to draft Shedeur this morning, I would have told you that's not going to happen. Okay, that's not going to happen. That's what he said. But he said that they had a meeting, they had a conference call, and they had the right people in the room, and it was totally Andrew Berry's call to draft Shedeur. He totally distanced himself from that draft pick. Okay, so then Andrew Berry in his interview after the draft, somebody said, "Oh, this is how do you feel about this blockbuster pick that y'all got? Y'all got Shedeur for a fifth round pick. You're for a fifth round pick, you know." And he said he went out of his way to say, "I wouldn't characterize it as a blockbuster pick. I wouldn't say it like that. He has an opportunity. This is the all-time leading, most accurate quarterback in college football history. This is a man that threw 137 touchdowns to 24 interceptions over a 4-year college career. And you get him for a fifth round pick. And when somebody says it's a blockbuster pick, you go out of your way to say, no, I wouldn't characterize it like that. Why would you disparage your own quarterback that you just drafted like that?
Well, first of all, let me just say something real quick. DC and Phil, they even though they've watched that and they know those stats, they don't believe that stuff. So just be careful when you ask those type of
No,
questions over there.
I believe it. It's just I'm gonna sit here and say is that if you sit back and look at the numbers, if we're gonna do that, we have to accept Shador had what about 74% and that completion percentage, which is great, but Dylan had 72.9%. So if we're gonna do that, there's not much of a difference
I
between them
haven't,
from a number standpoint.
I haven't
That's
said
all I'm saying.
anything about Dylan yet. I haven't said anything about Dylan at all. I'm just talking about Shedeur. I'm
But
saying
hold on, let me jump
I'm
in here real
saying
quick.
they just drafted this guy who has all these accolades, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm winner, all these was a Heisman, eighth in the Heisman voting, all of this stuff. And after they draft him, they distanced themselves from even um, from picking him or even give him any kind of. They went out of their way to disparage him
But
after they just drafted him. Okay, Eric Dickerson says that the owners got together and they agreed that they wasn't going to draft Shedeur. Eric Dickerson said that after all of this, right? Okay, and Shedeur is the only college quarterback that was projected to go in the first round that fell to the fifth round. Nobody who was projected to go in the first round fell lower than the third round, except for Colt Brennan, and he had multiple SA allegations in college, and he still went in the fourth round.
Hold,
Okay.
hold, hold on, sir. I get what you're saying, but I do have a rebut to that. So
Okay.
I look. I agree with some of the things that you have interjected into the conversation as far
These
as
are
like
facts.
the things that people have said when it comes from Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry, and things like that. You know, still they still
Mhm.
drafted him. And then, so what do you
Right.
say to the reporters who cover Cleveland football and Cleveland sports media? What do you say to the reports that they came out and said themselves to say from a source within the team building that Shedeur will start 4 games? This is what their Cleveland media reported this about 3 weeks ago.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Haslam,
This is
About,
this,
the
this is
owner,
what I
came
say
out and
today.
said that Shador Sanders will play this season.
so
This
I
this 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 is what I say today. Shedeur Sanders is the highest selling jersey in the National Football League, or at least among the rookies. So they're
mhm.
gonna say what they can to keep people interested. That's what I believe.
I mean,
Here's the
But he's not
that
gonna
ship
start.
been sunk. The people
Not,
bypass. We way past that. Like
if
we
he was gonna
understand.
start, they would be preparing him to start. They're not
No,
preparing him to start. They're not preparing him to play at all. We know
well,
that.
we
We
understand.
they had a quarterback competition and they had him throw into a supposed quarterback competition. They had him throwing to equipment managers.
Right. We
He's
understand
not
all
being
that.
prepared to play at all.
We understand. Hey, trust me, we
Yeah,
understand all of that. But
I
the
don't disagree with
owner,
that. Sure.
But can we answer that question? Then we can get back to Tim's question because I got to get up out of here soon.
And
Can we
hold
answer
on.
that question, or is this out of line? Like, because if you're not being prepared, and we're saying, oh, hey, they're gonna just throw you in, and then when they do throw him in with maybe 3 or 4 games to go, the starters are not going to have no incentive, and I heard this from I think the guys on Speak or somewhere. The guys that are the starters, their agents are going to be calling and saying, hey man, my guy's not playing, right? So there's no incentive to keep your starters to play. So now you're putting Shedeur in a lose-lose situation because you don't have the starters to compare him with what Dylan Gabriel did all year. So then how do you really like give him a fair shot to be to see if he can be a starter for your team
What would
when
be
you're going to be putting him with backups again?
what would be the comparison though, Harry? Because it's not like Dylan Gabriel
Dylan Gabriel
winning
is
games.
playing with starters. That's the
I mean,
comparison.
he's playing with starters, but he's not winning. So
Right, but to
so
compare it, let's see if we can give the same starters to Shedeur, and if he doesn't win, then we can say, okay, fine.
But
We can't
Harry,
keep giving him backups and then say, let's grade him based on the backup and
so
then
Harry,
compare that to
so what
Dylan
if
Gabriel's numbers.
what
That's
what
not how
if
this
Shedeur
works, man.
what if Shedeur goes in there with backups and wins? So it can work both ways, Harry. It doesn't just work
yeah,
one way.
he showed it against Carolina.
That's what I'm
hold on.
saying. He already shown that. We
Let me
already
just,
have the data on that. But we want to
Again,
know about the starters because the last game that we remember was with the backups. And you know for a fact that they're not going to try to support them. You know
but
that.
Harry, that's what I'm saying. So you're painting the picture one way. You're saying, all right, obviously there has to be a comparison. Yes, I agree to that. And you're saying, well, Dylan Gabriel playing with the starters. Yep, he not winning, and it don't look good. Great. Agents call, starters ain't playing, no incentives. Great. You put Shedeur in with backups. And what if he goes in there, hypothetically, he goes in there with backups. He's still able to move the ball up and down the field. He's able to win a game or two. Then what do you say? Right?
This is how I'm going to answer this question. Let me answer that question.
Harry, it doesn't matter. The
Let me answer
comparison
the
is gonna
question.
be
You asked the question. Let
how
me
he
answer it.
performs as a quarterback. That's
Let
going
me
to be
answer the question.
comparison.
Because we don't want hypothetical to fail us, because we're saying, oh, and I'm going to use an analogy. Let's get those 8 Democrats to vote, and then hope that the Republicans would have learned their lesson. We're going to hope that the Republicans would have learned their lesson and come to the table once all of this is all set, because people are hungry. Let's feed the people and just hope we can point to how bad the economy looks and hope that those Republicans come to the table once they learn their lesson. We're hoping, right? Now, going back to Shedeur's situation, with the backups that he played with last time, that stink is still on the board. We can still smell that. So we're not going to put him in there to hope that he does better, because if he doesn't, what we're going to be left with is 2 scenarios where he did poorly. And he ain't going to have no chance.
It's not hope, because in the same breath you said at the beginning, we already seen it with when he played against the Panthers. He played with backups on short notice.
No, but we don't want no more chance. We're not taking no more chances.
hey,
We don't want to take no more chances. Give me the first starters. Give me the starters.
I'm only looking at the scenario how you put the scenario. You said, I want to see him with starters, but then you said the guys on Speak are gonna say the agents are gonna call and the starters are not gonna play. So I'm only answering the scenario of how you painted it. You painted it that way.
I'm telling you,
So
I don't want to take no more chances.
If that's the situation,
can he do well? Yes. He can do well, but I don't want to take that chance.
If that's the situation, Harry, and you have a job and you need to go out there and perform your job, then you go out there and perform your job.
I don't want to take no more chances.
Because Shedeur could easily say, okay, well, y'all gonna put me out there with second string, then I don't want to play. Then what would you say to
Come on
that?
now, you can't do that. If
No,
you do that, you
I'm
just
just
say,
saying, I'm
if you
Harry.
do that,
I'm saying,
that's career sabotage.
if your job is to go out there and perform, Harry, no matter the circumstance, you go out there and you perform the
So we
job
would
to the
never
best
know
of
then, right?
your ability. That's
So
all
what you're
you
telling
can
me
do.
is that you're telling me that we will never know if we're trying to compare Shedeur with Dylan Gabriel. We will never know.
But you
Because
can compare.
Judon just told you,
You can make a
Judon just told you
comparison,
that they're not
Harry.
preparing him.
You can make a comparison. If he goes out there and he wins football games,
And
Harry,
what if
that's
he
a
loses?
comparison within itself.
What if he loses
We,
like he did? And
wait,
what if he loses?
and if he loses, okay, how does the losses look? Because now you're comparing a loss to a loss. Because Dylan
Oh, how
Gabriel
does the
loses.
loss look?
Do you
Because
think Dylan Gabriel's
DC,
gonna
who
win any
is
game?
DC still here? Let me
You
tell you.
compare,
Let me tell, no. Wait, hold the
you
phone. Let me finish.
compare losses to
No, you don't.
losses.
No,
That's
you
what you
don't.
compare.
Because this is how we look. How did he do with Carolina? He did well. We got the hand raised. How did he do with the Rams? This is what you're saying. DC said that Dylan Gabriel won the competition. Am I lying on my line, DC?
Yeah.
Yeah. DC said that Dylan Gabriel won the competition. Because the last thing we remember is how well he played in the end, even though his first game was trash. The second game looked better. So the media said that it was not even close. I'm not taking no more chances. I'm not.
Okay, so
I don't want
Harry,
no more chances. Let's go head to head. If this guy is what he said he is, give me the first team.
Harry, then you have to readdress the question. Because you can't interject and say,
there was no
guys
question.
On speak. You can't interject and say, well, the guys on speak said that agents on call and guys ain't gonna play no more.
But
so
that
what
was
is
not a question. I'm trying to make a point.
Or they're
I'm making a point. I was not asking a question.
So if they put them out there, but that's the point, Harry. If they put you out there, you need to do the absolute best you can. So if you get put out there with second string, your job as the quarterback is to still be the quarterback. Drive the ball downfield, make plays happen, try to win a football game. That's a different
scenario.
That's it. That's all you can do.
Remember, I said
situations are not going to be perfect in football.
No, listen to me. I'm not talking about situations. The scenario was, how do we compare Dylan Gabriel's numbers to Shedeur's numbers? That was one scenario. I'm making an argument. Judon said they're not preparing him. I'm trying to let you know they're not preparing him. And if you're going to prepare him and then throw him out there with second and third stringers, then I don't know that that's the proper preparation, because on one hand, you're telling me that Dylan Gabriel is this supercomputer and you're giving him all the opportunity to win. But then when it comes to Shedeur, when his opportunity comes, he ain't got the right cast around him.
Harry, who is Shedeur practicing with right now?
I'm not falling into that trap.
No, I mean Harry, who's he practicing with?
It's not. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm not answering that question.
Let me finish what I was saying though.
Yeah, let Judon finish, and then we can do final thoughts and get up out of here.
Let me finish what I'm saying, because I'm going to give y'all the reason why all this is happening. I saw with my own eyes Deion Sanders on the talk show. I don't remember which one it was, because I watched all of them, and it was it was the pre-draft press run, so he went to all of them. But on one of them, on a few of them, he said that there was certain teams that he wouldn't allow Shedeur to play for. On one of them, the interviewer said, I guess the Cleveland Browns might be one of those teams. And Deion was like, like that, right? I believe that got back to Jimmy Haslam, and he was infuriated. And he's the one that kicked off the collusion. That got with his owner buddies and said, we got to make an example out of him. How dare him, talk like that and all this stuff, right? So look, imagine being the owner that kicked off the collusion. First, imagine being the owner that was a player's dad disrespected you and your organization on national TV. Then you get your buddies together to collude to freeze him out of the draft. The NFL catch wind of it and make you draft him because he turned down two other ones. So he's in your lap
I,
now.
I,
They
I,
said, listen,
I
listen, no, no, let me cook because I just let y'all cook for 10 minutes. He 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 and you just made me forget what I was, but anyway, they was they didn't want to draft him. Okay, and he fell in their lap. Shador turned down two other teams and he fell in their lap. So he said Jimmy Haslam said they had to have a conference call about it, and it was Andrew Berry's call. Andrew Berry's philosophy is quarterbacks are currency. So my belief is that Jimmy Haslam is like, I don't care what y'all say, we not drafting him. And Andrew Berry's like, look, we got to draft him because the league said we got to draft him, but we can trade him. He'll never have to play it down for us, but we can trade him because quarterbacks are currency. And so no matter what happens, Jimmy Haslam is like, I don't care. No matter how bad Dylan Gabriel plays, I don't care. Shador's not playing one down for this team. And that's why Kevin Stefanski can't say when they ask, hey, what does Shador need to show you to show that he's ready to play? He can't say anything because if he says anything, first of all, he knows that Shador is ready, but he don't. So he would have to lie because he can't
wait,
say
wait. So
I can't give him
if
I
he,
can't get
we know
hold on.
he ready.
He can't say I don't have permission to play him
We
because the
know
owner
he
won't let him
ready,
play.
but we not preparing him. That's contradictory within itself. So
No,
how do you
because
know he's
he
ready
showed
if you're
he
not preparing him?
because he
You
showed he
can't
was
say
ready
two
throughout
things.
because he showed he was ready throughout the whole training camp. Shador was the best quarterback throughout the whole training camp. They gave us the stats every
That
day.
I
They gave us
agree.
the
I
numbers.
agree to.
So
But you
what are you
can't
talking
make
about?
contradictory statements, my brother. You
That's not
can't say they're
contradictory.
not preparing him, but
He
they
came
don't
in
know if
ready.
he
That's what I'm
ready.
saying. He came in ready, but it don't matter because he's not playing.
Nah, man. No,
All
no.
right, guys.
I'm gonna
Look,
tell you
man,
this right
we
now.
gotta go, man. Look, time is up. We gotta leave it there because I gotta be out. My hard out was 12 o'clock. I went over time. Unfortunately, I gotta cut it because my hard out was 12 o'clock, and I was like 20 minutes past my hard out. So, but let's get some final thoughts. Uh, Remember, the show was about Shador getting traded next year because you can't have Watson, a new quarterback on deck, and Dylan Gabriel being their quarterback currently. You can't have all of those and then keep Shador unless they're going to be real messy again and just take us into another, off season with all that mess and then get the new quarterback. So if y'all want to base your final thoughts on that, you can do that, or you can just give me something new. But let's get up out of here. Everybody got 30 seconds. We're going to start with DC.
I yield my time to Ty Smith because I stepped on him. But if he wants to give me something back, I'm fine. I
Yeah, I'm
didn't want to
sorry,
step on
Ty.
my
We
brother.
we never got back to your question, but you know how the show goes. We're gonna give you more time. Go ahead, Ty. Ty Smith is Ty Smith is busy. Jr. Go.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
DC.
I'll say the best situation for Shador, in my opinion, would be a trade. Like you don't play in Cleveland, you get traded. And it'll end up like a Daniel Jones situation. Look, you get traded to a team where you can compete for the starting position, i.e., Daniel Jones surpass Richardson to be the starter for the Colts. That would be the ideal situation, in my opinion, for Shador.
All right, Judon, go ahead. Final thoughts.
I just want to address Tony Simmons. He has watched then has Shador been traded because they've been trying to trade him ever since he got there, but they've been also putting out false narratives that Shador can't comprehend football. So nobody is going to trade anything for him, and they know that the Browns didn't want him in the first place. They're not going to give up anything when they know the Browns going to release him in the offseason. And
All
they
right.
saying that he's stupid.
All right, DC, go.
I just think what we got to look at it is that we can have a love for Shador, but also we got to look at some of the customs, courtesies, and patterns that the NFL has. Because Shador does not trump that, pun intended. But the point being that you have a quarterback room right now, and how they've jumbled this thing up. Brown's been jumbling this thing up for decades, so I think you got to have some realistic expectations of what Shador can and cannot do. I think he probably gets traded because you have an issue. They've invested a lot of playing time in DG. They've invested a lot of money in Watson. And if they draft a QB in 2026, it's gonna be an odd man out. And I think that's unfortunately gonna be Shedeur.
Hey, can I address that?
No, I mean, it's final thoughts. We can address final thoughts. I'll give you some time, but let Todd Smith go first.
All right.
Hey, I was just gonna say real quick, by them sticking with Dylan Gabriel is doing a dishonest to the organization, which I'm pretty sure they already don't care. They've been showing that for years. Sticking with Dylan, not switching over to Shedeur says a lot to the players that are on that team. And if the Cleveland Browns ain't trying to win, then I feel like they don't even need to be in the National Football League. But also with Andrew Berry, not Andrew Berry, but the owner, grandkids wearing Shedeur jersey speak volume. And I feel like it's going to get even louder from the fan base up there in Cleveland. Great show, Harry.
Well, I mean, Shedeur, from that standpoint, Shedeur is popular. So I just counted to Shedeur being popular. That's it. But Judon, you wanted to address something? I'll give you the last words.
Yeah, nothing in regard to Shedeur has been customary or what did you say it was? As far as traditional, as
Yeah.
far as the way things are being conducted around him. Nothing has at all.
I've been arguing with DC behind the scenes, like about that. He's not going to concede, so you can waste your breath if you want, but go ahead. he believes everything that's happening to Shedeur is normal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if that's what you want to address, man, forget it.
I'm not saying what happened to him is normal. What I am saying is that
every time we bring it up, you keep saying that.
Well, check this out.
That ain't customary. That's what happens in the NFL. Fifth rounders don't get nothing.
They generally.
That's
they
what you've been saying.
They generally.
Hey, that's the word with you, man. We're closing out here.
They don't. But the only thing I would sit back and say is that if you notice, if you look back and look at some of the stuff, and I'm closing this up just for perspective, when you look at that draft order, it did not go the way that we thought. Like Ewers didn't go where we thought he was going to go. Cal McCord, I don't even think got drafted. Will Howard, a lot of that stuff didn't happen. So this was a crazy. I can't say that now. I can agree with that. This was a crazy draft. I can't say what happened to Shedeur or not. People can say it's collusion. I'm not pushing back on you. All I would say is that if it is collusion, the question I always ask is when did they decide to stop colluding? Because if they did do that, you more than likely it's going to continue. My hope is that again, he gets traded and goes to a team where he's probably not going to be considered a franchise, but at least he can be against a stone's throw on a team that's solid. That's my hope.
Yep.
Judon, we cut you off, Judon. Did you want to throw something in there? Because we gotta end.
No, I think my last point was imagine being the owner that started the collusion, and then you get forced to draft the player that you colluded against, and then you put him in, and he does well, and the fans demand that you give him a big contract. That's not going to happen. Jimmy Haslam is not going to let Shedeur play at all. Trust me.
I'm hoping he doesn't play. And just lastly, I've been watching the NFL for a very long time. I would say if I was a baby and I was in 1989, I didn't understand it that well. But after 89, you get 90, 91. When I started understanding it, I've never seen anything like this since 1992, 93, 94, 95. I've never seen anybody treated this way, the way that the Cleveland Browns are treating Shedeur Sanders.
It's never
So
happened.
if you're talking about you're talking about norms and stuff like that, I ain't never seen it.
Hey, Harry, real quick, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Anybody who's saying they don't want to see Shedeur play this season are delusional to me. The reason I say that is because you want him to have some type of film for other teams to be able to look at that are needing quarterbacks.
I'm delusional because I don't trust the Cleveland Browns. That's why I'm going to fall within that delusional category, because I don't trust the Cleveland Browns. The last time we saw Shedeur right before the season started, and then he got bum rushed by the media saying that Dylan Gabriel had won the job and it wasn't even close and da 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 da. The Cleveland Browns sabotaged Shedeur. So if you want to see Shedeur play this year, and the time they're going to make him at the time he's going to play, if you want to see that, I would tell anyone who want to join this delusional club to join me. By the way, I would tell anyone who wants to see that to be prepared to see them pull the help and sabotage Shedeur again. Because that's the last thing they want to see. That's the last thing that Stefanski wants everybody to remember going into the offseason, how poorly Shedeur played so that they can leave him alone. So that's what I'm afraid of. I don't want to see him play this year because I know that Cleveland Browns are already out of contention for anything. And if they push Shedeur in, it's going to be that stupid Kevin Stefanski with the smart nuts trying to prove to the rest of us who he doesn't like that Shedeur is not him. And I don't want to see that. That's why I'm delusional.
I don't think Stefanski doesn't like Shedeur. I think he's not allowed to play him.
Well, that's the same thing.
To me, that makes more sense. He's not allowed to play him. It's not that he hates him or don't want to play him. Stefanski wants to win. He knows.
But you're not a man. If you're not a man, if you can't mention somebody's name, even if they say you're not allowed to play him, then you tell me you're not allowed to say his name. If you're not allowed to play him, but you're not allowed to say his name also, then I understand it. But if you're not allowed to play him, but you can't say Shedeur, then I mean, what is I don't get it.
Hey, B, I got a question for Judon though, just real quick, please, real quick. Yeah. Judon, if we believe this, if we really believe this, I'm not knocking you. Then why did Shedeur turn down the Ravens and the Eagles and not turn down the Browns, even though Dad said this was dysfunctional? Everybody was saying it's dysfunctional. We're saying that. Why would we do that?
Okay, I don't see how that has any relevance, but I'll answer the question because he makes his own decisions. He said he didn't want to challenge Lamar Jackson and for their starting positions. He wanted to be a starter, and the best way to be the starter was not behind them. He didn't want to challenge them out of respect for them. So he went to the next team was the Browns. He didn't choose the Browns. The Browns chose him.
He could have declined.
Yeah, he chose the Browns.
He could have, but the Browns didn't have a starting quarterback that was on the Super Bowl contending team who was
why he chose him.
The best black quarterbacks in the National Football League at the time, or among the best.
But you should have known by how they drafted you. It wasn't, and how they have handled QBs, mishandled it. It wasn't going to be a great shot.
No, DC. Let me answer that, and then we got to go. We got to really go. You see again. You're stuck on the draft. Shedeur Sanders is not thinking about draft because if you tell somebody, like Coach Prime brings players to Colorado and say, "Look, man, the only thing I can promise you is that if you work hard and you earn a spot, you can play." Right? Let's say Stefanski and his crew said that. So Shedeur's not thinking, "Oh, I'm a fifth rounder," like you're thinking. You're stuck on that. He's not. Shedeur is not thinking about himself as a fifth rounder.
Usually when you get in,
you're thinking like, he's sitting over there thinking like, if they're gonna draft me like this, then the way that your train of thought is going is not the way Shedeur Sanders' train of thought is going. If they draft, just get me in the 6th, 7th round. Just get me on the plane. Get me on the job. I know who I am,
and I'm a earn my keep. Just get me on the field. That's what I'm saying.
All he wanted, and he thought he was going or stepping into a situation where there was going to be some type of competition because they did not have a first a Super Bowl MVP type of quarterback. So I'm asking you kindly before I have to fry you again.
No, you're gonna fry yourself because at the end
I'm
of the day,
not trying to fry myself. Why are you thinking that Shedeur Sanders is thinking the way you're thinking?
Because here's the thing. I never said that he didn't think he could go to a team and start. That's the playing side. But there's a business side to NFL. And when you look at that room that already had 4 QBs and one of them was guaranteed money, that should have been a red flag to say,
He
hey,
was hurt, bro. He's
all right.
hurt. He's not playing. They already
Well,
assessed the
at
situation.
the end of the
If
day,
you are a quarterback and you know your ability, DC, and
at the end of the
you're stepping
day,
into the Browns situation,
at the end
you're
of the
not
day,
thinking no business. You just
at the
like,
end,
Well,
at
what
the
is
end
that
of the
question? You
day,
said if we
hold
well,
on.
hold on. You said
At the
when
end of
you started your question, you said if we believe this. What do you mean if we
if the
believe what? What are we talking
what
about?
I'm saying is that that if you believe all of that that happened to him, then I'm asking, okay, so then where's the path that he's going to come in? Because we're saying, oh, they know he's great, but they're going to sit him. If they're going to sit him, they're going to continue to sit him.
He didn't know
I
that.
mean,
He didn't
but
know
my
that
point.
before he
But
got
hold on.
drafted.
But hold on one second. This is what I'm saying.
How
that's
was
what
he
I'm saying.
supposed to know
How
that?
are you
I
saying
hold
that
on.
Shedeur knew that?
I don't understand.
Listen to what I'm saying. Is I'm not
I don't,
telling you what I would like to happen. I'm telling you what was because I even said that beforehand once he got drafted. What
no,
was
but you're
going to
saying it
happen,
like Shedeur was supposed to know the future before he got drafted. That's
bro?
what you
At the
said.
end
That's the way it's
at
coming
the
off.
end of the day, is I said this right after the draft, and at the end of the day, I get what y'all are saying. But what I said was going to happen is exactly what happened. It was not going to be a fair shake because they have had a history of mismanaging the team, and you can't get around the fact that you have 46 million, 43, 46 million dollars guaranteed every year. You can't just sit that guy
DC,
on the bench.
you're okay. That last point, DC. You have to understand that analysts are different from players. You can analyze that situation and look at it from the vintage point of an analyzer and say, okay, well, it's obvious you shouldn't have made XYZ move because that was sitting right there for you to see. The player sees a hurt player. He sees Dylan Gabriel as 2 feet 9 inches, can't piss on his own nuts. All right. So, and then he's looking at whoever the other Pickett was, Pickett. And he's like, I know I can get these dudes if I just get the opportunity. That's how a player is going to assess the situation. So I don't know how you thinking like Shedeur is supposed to. I think that's the way you're supposed to think about it. You
And
pick
what were
the
the
best
results?
scenario where you know the path that you can play right away. And I don't agree with it. I remember now. I already talked about the fact that I feel like why don't you take the Eagles job or you take the Ravens job right away. I thought it was a stupid decision, but the way you're looking at it is not the way that Shedeur would have looked at it. Is what I'm challenging. Shedeur wouldn't have looked at it with the way you're looking at it from an analytical standpoint. He's looking at it from a standpoint of playing. That's it. And that would have given him the best chance to play. Deshaun Watson, with his $50 million, he was hurt. So he was not a factor. So how would you say, oh, he should have known? How?
Because
Where?
how did
How,
I
Sway?
know?
How,
How
Sway?
did I know? How did I know?
How do you know what?
How did I know that that was not going to be a fair one? Because I said it after the draft. I said, this is bad. And what has happened? It's bad.
Nobody could predict that Kevin Stefanski's with his small nuts
Yes,
was
you
going to do.
could.
No,
Yes,
you
you
could
absolutely
not.
could.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't.
Well, I did.
That he wasn't going to give Shedeur a fair shot?
That the Browns have mismanaged QBs for decades,
No,
that
that
it
ain't
was
what you're
not going to
saying.
be
That ain't
good.
what you're saying. You trying to say that you
No.
said that you knew. You saying that you said that they wasn't going to give him a fair shot. You're
Right.
Yes.
taking credit for
You
it,
didn't say
but
that.
that's not what
Yes.
you said.
I did say that. I
When did you
did
say
say
that
that.
that Shedeur was going to be treated the way that he's being treated right now by Kevin Stefanski?
Each time you tried to beat me over the head for saying he was a 5th-round draft pick.
Hey, can I come to DCA real quick?
What's
Because
going on is not about 5th-round draft pick. You know that, right?
DC did say that though, Harry.
No.
On one,
What's going on that's going on is not about the 5th round because 5th rounders to get a chance to show their stuff. So this is not about 5th rounder. The draft is over. You're talking about fifth rounders don't get X, Y, and Z. This that's going on is not about fifth round. This is
Fifth
about
rounders don't throw to
personnel.
equipment managers.
Harry,
Fifth,
you wrong. DC
Okay.
fifth
right.
rounders don't
Because
outperform everybody in the in training camp and still be thrown
Judon
to
even
equipment
said it.
managers.
Look, Judon even said it himself. Deion Sanders himself said, I don't want my son to go to Cleveland. And then you end up going to Cleveland. You could have said no to Cleveland, just how you said no to
this is how I
Baltimore.
interpreted what
Listen up.
DC said at the
Why
time.
not say no if
Yeah.
your daddy understands the inner workings of football, and to DC's point to say Cleveland really hasn't done anything
What does
right
that have
by
to
a
do?
quarterback ever, it seems like. But hey, you can
What
be
does
the
that have
one
to
to
do
go and
with it?
change that.
That's not the
son.
What does that have to
interpretation
do
Go
that
to
with the
you're getting in
Cleveland
real
reality
and
that
time.
change the
everything is
outcome.
happening?
That's not the
No.
interpretation you're getting in real time. This is in
The
retrospect.
interpretation in real time, his daddy sat there on
No.
Monday Night Football and
What
said,
I'm
I
trying to
don't
tell
want
you
my son
is,
to
if you
Cleveland.
say
He said that.
that fifth round draft picks don't usually get X, Y, and Z, and you say
I'm not
Cleveland
worried
Browns
about.
do
I'm
not,
like
hold
you,
on.
Harry. I'm not worried about the draft pick.
Okay, fine. But if
I'm
you
worried
say
about the
Cleveland Browns do
team,
not know
Harry.
how to handle quarterbacks,
The team.
hold on. If you say in real time during the draft, if you tell me the way that I would interpret you telling me that Cleveland Browns do not handle quarterbacks correctly, my interpretation of that is not going to be what we know right now to be happening. Kevin Stefanski himself has not called Shedeur's name. That has nothing to do with fifth round.
I'm not talking about a round. I'm talking about the team.
That's what DC is talking about.
No,
one of the
DC talking
factors.
about the team. He said the Cleveland Browns.
He
He said
said that
nothing about
Shedeur
a round.
would not get a fair shot because the organization has not treated quarterbacks properly. But that's not the interpretation that we're going to assess to say that Kevin Stefanski is not going to call Shedeur's name. That is not the interpretation you would pick up. And
You
when he
should pick
said
that
it in
one
real
up,
time,
though.
that is
You should
not.
pick that up.
Because
But
we
they
know
shouldn't
that
have.
if Shedeur is given a
would.
fair shot, he will beat out every quarterback in that room.
I
We know that
would.
for a fact.
If you go off of what you and how Judon feel about it, look, Jimmy Haslam not gonna play him, right? So if you felt like that, if you felt Jimmy Haslam didn't want to draft you, then why go? I would have just been like, nah, I'm good.
That's
Y'all,
not.
That's what I would have said.
y'all are
Hey, man, we got
using
interest in
future
drafting
events.
you, Shedeur, in the 5th round at 144th pick.
Shedeur wasn't
This
thinking
Andrew
that.
Berry from the Cleveland Browns. No, sir, don't draft me. I'm good.
How was Shedeur supposed to know that Jimmy Haslam would cut
How-
off his nose to spite his
How was
face?
he? How was he
They called
supposed to?
him.
How
They
was he
called him.
supposed to know? How was he supposed to know when his daddy said, "I don't want my son to
That
go
ain't
there"?
got nothing to do with the fact that they
what
called
was
him.
so?
They called him. They called him on the
Exactly.
phone and said, "We
And
picking
who
you."
else? And who else contacted
So
him?
how was he supposed to know that he wouldn't get a fair shot when they called him and said, "We picking you"?
Right.
They called
It's
him.
the fair shot we're talking
Y'all-
about.
y'all-
I feel like
Exactly.
we're not talking about the same thing.
But
We're talking-
if
Y'all are
the
saying that
information, if the
y'all are saying that he was
information
supposed to
came out,
know.
if
Y'all,
the
so what y'all saying
information
is he was
came out
supposed to know
that
that
both
he wasn't going to get a fair
Baltimore,
shot because
if
they called him.
the information came out that both Baltimore and another team was
That ain't got
interested
nothing to
in
talking
do
about the
with what
drafting
same
we're
thing.
you,
We're
talking
not,
and you
guys.
send back to that
We're not
team,
talking about the
I'm
same
not
thing, guys.
interested in being drafted by your organization. Why not send that same information back to Cleveland? I'm not interested in being
We're not
drafted
talking
by
about the
your
same thing.
organization.
You're not answering what
That
we're
ain't got
saying.
nothing to do with.
That has
the
nothing to
fact
do with what
that
we're
they
What do
talking
you
about. And
mean?
we're just talking off each other now. I think we want to make points, but we're not even talking about the same thing. We're talking about the fact that you're saying Shedeur should have known that Kevin Stefanski would not be calling his name in November. You saying he should have known that to begin with, and that's not fair. Come on, like stop playing.
We should have known
So
that
you,
there was not going to be a good environment for him to be successful.
and
That's a
that's what his
No,
fact.
but that's
daddy knew,
fine.
right?
But that's what I'm saying.
Didn't
I
his
agree
daddy
with
know
you.
that?
That at that point, I'm with you because we all knew that. We all knew that this was the quarterback's graveyard. We knew that. But
Okay.
Shedeur does not think like a loser. Shedeur thinks I can go into a scenario like a Jackson State, and I can play well. He's not thinking that the black people at Jackson State will steal money. He's not thinking that the people at Jackson State would do his dad dirty, right? I'm just trying to tell you, we're not talking about the
I
same
don't know
thing.
what Shedeur was thinking at that point, but based off his expression of gratitude and how he felt and how he jumped in that pool, I think the young man was just happy to hear his name called. I don't think he was
That's
thinking
right.
all of that. I'm gonna go and change that franchise. I'm gonna go. Yeah, he thought all
KMS,
that.
leave me alone. Let me go, because KMS is even calling me out. He said Harry had no stopping point. Let me get up out of here. I really gotta go, man. I gotta go. I wanted to save some time so that I can like at least eat some lunch, but because I lost all that time. But I gotta go, man. But we're not talking about the same thing, so let's leave it there. Hey, man, look, I always appreciate the argument. I always appreciate the strong debates. They actually work for the show.
KMS a real one. He knows you too well.
Oh my gosh, I love the real debates, man. Look, I wish I had more time. We would debate it, but I'm gonna chop this up and try to put some in some shorts. So y'all look out for that. All right, guys, y'all take it easy, man. I'll see y'all on the next one. Hey, Peter Investor, appreciate it, man. He said great show.
Hey,
What'd you say?
I said thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, for sure, man. Save the email if you want to come on here. Just when I make the call, just come on here. I appreciate you being the first time calling in.
All right, bet.
All right, guys. All right, man. Look, we'll talk about it again. Just expect Shedeur to be traded next year. I don't want him to play. I want him to be traded. I hope he's traded because I'm ready for a new regime. I'm ready for something new. I'm tired of small dick Stefanski. I'm just gonna put it out there like that. All right, guys. Peace.